first step of when we're taking and subtracting integers. So, for example, if I have negative 17 minus 9, okay, there is a definition of subtraction. Okay, some books will call it a definition, some people will call it a rule. Let me see, I don't remember what this book actually calls it. It's really not, they don't call it any specific thing, it's just subtracting integers. The rule is basically this. I'll put it in letter form and then I'll use that as an example. A minus B is equivalent or equal to A plus the opposite of B. Okay? So basically what we're saying is you'll no longer have subtraction problems. Okay? You will change all subtraction problems to addition problems. Okay, you will change all subtraction problems to addition problems. Let me use the one I just listed as an example. So we will take negative 17 minus 9. Okay, and we will change that to addition. The way you change it to addition is you do this. Negative 17 stays the same. We change the subtraction sign to an addition sign, and we do the opposite of positive 9. The opposite of positive 9 would be what? Negative 9. Okay? Now, once you've done that, you follow the rules for adding integers in 6.2. Okay? So, the rules say that when I have two negative numbers, what do we do with the numbers themselves? You add them. So 17 plus 9 is 26, and we keep the negative sign. So that's what negative 26 is what negative 17 minus 9 represents. Okay? Let's look at another one. So if I have 15 minus negative 18. Okay, the first step is to change it to addition. So 15, the first number always stays whatever it is. If it's positive, it stays positive. If it's negative, then it stays negative. The subtraction sign always changes to addition, and we do the opposite of the number behind the subtraction sign. So the opposite of negative 18 is positive 18. Okay, what is 15 plus 18? 33. Okay. Now, the other type of problem that I want to show you is similar to this, but now we've always said in the past that you couldn't do that problem. Your teachers have told you can't do that. It's always the bigger numbers always got to come first, and that's true in the sense of obviously in first grade they're not going to teach you about adding and subtracting negatives, okay? Because you're just learning how to add and subtract positives. That is a legitimate problem now. We can do that problem. We do it by simply following the rule. 13 stays the same. We change the subtraction to addition, and we do the opposite of 24, which is negative 24. So that's our new problem, 13 plus negative 24. Now, that problem, we must take the absolute value of 13 and negative 24. The absolute value of 13 is 13. The absolute value of negative 24, 24. And we subtract their absolute values. Okay? 24 minus 13 is what? 11. The larger absolute value has a negative sign, so I got to bring that into my answer. Okay, the reason I subtracted the absolute values is because I had a positive and a negative. Anytime you have a positive and a negative number, you always subtract the absolute values. Okay, I want you to try this one on your own. Negative 56 minus 28. All right. Josh, what'd you get? Negative 84. That is correct. Okay. First one stays the same. Change that to addition. Do the opposite of 28, which is negative 28. I have two negatives, so you add the two numbers together. So that would be 56 plus 28. That would be 84. Have two negative signs, so the answer is negative. All right, let's look at number 20. Number 20 in the book is a word problem. I want you to try this one on your own. Number 20. It's on page 268. All right, Laney Levi, what'd you get? Close. It's real close. I think you just, well, your subtraction is a little off. Matt. Yeah, 22,965. Okay, and that is feet. Now, what we do is, they say the highest point in South America is Mount Aconcagua, whatever, at 22,834 feet above sea level. The lowest point in South America is the Valdez Peninsula at 131 feet below sea level. Find the difference. The key word there is difference. Difference means to subtract. Okay? Above sea level is positive. Okay? Below sea level is negative. So you take the two parts that they've given you 22,834, and that's above sea level, and then they gave you 131 feet below sea level. So that would be 22,834 minus, because of the word difference, negative 131. Okay, and then you put those two things, we follow our rule, change that to addition, do the opposite of negative 131, which is positive 131. Okay? Matthew? Yes, sea level 0 feet. I don't know if they would call it zero. They wouldn't call it 0 feet, but yes, sea level would be the zero. Anytime you're going up, obviously it's positive. Anytime you're going down, it would be negative from the zero. All right, I want you to do 28. Number 28. Number 28. Remember that to number 28, there's two different parts. Okay, there's the actual number answer, and there's an explanation of part of an answer. Huh? Yeah. No, because if we look up here, that right there, 13 minus 24 was two positives, and we came up with a negative 11. Well, the reason we subtracted them yesterday is because they had a positive and a negative. That's the only reason you subtracted yesterday. Now, if you, like, for example, if you had 24 minus 13, then, yeah, you're just end up subtracting them, and just like normal. Laney, what'd you get? $1,190. Okay. The problem is that you have to understand, are they going up, or are they going down? Okay. Because they went from a higher point to a lower point. In other words, they started at 3,350 feet. Okay? That's where they started. So if we're thinking of a mountain here, they started here, and they ended up 1,190 feet lower at 2,160 feet. The only way you can get lower in elevation is to go down. So going down, okay, descending or down would mean that this is a negative 1,190 feet. Because they're going down. Now, if they would have started at 2,160 feet, okay, and then they went up, or they went to 3,350, then it would be a positive 1,190. Okay. Now, the other way that you would know this is this. The other way you would know this is you would start with, trying to figure out how I want to explain this. The distance that you're starting with, the distance where you started, should be the back end of the problem. For example, your problem should have looked like this. Okay? Your problem should have looked like that because you're subtracting the original starting point from the ending point. Okay? And so your problem should have looked like that. Most of you probably took and just said, okay, I'm just going to subtract 3,350 feet from 2,160 feet. If you do it properly, you subtract it the right way, then you would have had this. Okay, and then you would take the absolute value of the two, and you would subtract their absolute values, and get 1190, and then the larger one is negative, and so you would say negative 1,190 feet. Okay. Huh? No, it's negative. That's why I circled the negative. Okay, now the explanation is since it's negative, you're going down. Okay, since it's a negative change in elevation, you're going down. All right, now your homework. No, I know, life is so hard. Well, I mean, I'd rather give you time in class to do homework so you have less to do at home. All right, 6.3, 11 through 30, and then 43. Now, your 6 weeks exam is on Tuesday next week. Tuesday, 9, 10, 11, it'll be the 12th. It'll be over Chapter 4, 5, and 6.1 through 6.3. Okay. Now, and while you're doing this homework, I'll hand back your test from those chapters.